All right, we're back.
Yo,
So,
play a thing.
as you may have seen in the channel, we are moving from one saga to another. We are going to be starting the Banner Saga now.
It's a saga.
So, yeah, let's move right along with that.
Thankfully, it's not Candy Crush Saga. That game sucks butts.
I don't think it'd be very fun to watch anyway.
No. Yeah, stop that. New game.
Hey, I see you've descended.
The gods are dead. In their wake, man and giant survived through a tenuous alliance, driving black destroyers called Dredge deep into the northern wastes. Now is an era of growth and trade. Life goes on. Only one thing has stopped. The sun.
What?
You'll understand soon
What about Greece says? The Vikings.
Að sjá dreggjana á
enough. It
ferli
is kind of Vikingish.
It has been several long months on the road. The first signs of snowfall accost us on our approach to Strand, largest of the trade cities on the Val-human borders, and our last collection before returning to the capital. Several days ago, the sun simply came to a stop in the sky. Though during these long winter days, none of us can be certain how long it has been this way. Some of the men in the caravan have taken it as a dire omen. I am not quick to superstition, but I myself will be glad to be done with this year's rounds. We have been warned by stranded travelers about brigands on the path through Ridgehorn, our road home. Our captain seems unconcerned. Perhaps he is as eager as I to be done here. We will rest here this day and inquire further when we speak to the governor.
Komið skjótt! Komið í höfnina miklu! Gist ég leyfa oss að syngja?
That doesn't seem like having to inquire about what happens.
You've arrived just in time. The chieftain in red and his men are now looking at a tougher fight than they bargained for. Drag around the screen to see your surroundings. Click the check mark to continue. There's a polar bear chained up back there.
I never noticed that. Poor polar bear.
Mm-hmm. These portraits show the order of initiative, taking turns from left to right. Your allies are blue, the enemy is in red. It is your turn to act. Movement happens before action. This ring shows your shield banger is active. The blue tiles around him show where he can move. Some characters fill more tiles than others. The Horned Allies are a race of giants called Varl, who take up 4 tiles each, while humans fill a single tile. This can have a huge impact on your strategy.
Huge giants.
Click the tile you want to move to, then click the check mark to confirm. Move your shield banger here to get him into attack range.
Yeah, he's not ranged.
The target an enemy, click the tile on which they stand. Any tile, ally tiles are blue, the enemies are red. Target this enemy now by clicking his tile. You can choose to either attack the enemy's strength or break his armor. The numbers beneath each icon show the damage you will do to that stat. Strength counts as both health and damage. A loss of 2 strength means you'll now do 2 less damage. If strength falls to 0, the character falls in battle. Armor blocks strength damage, but can be reduced by a break attack. By breaking armor, you open them up to take more damage in the future. This enemy has only 5 strength remaining. A strength attack will kill him. Click the fist now to attack his strength, then confirm your choice.
Click fist.
He's down. Each time you make a kill, your renown grows, which is used later to improve your characters. After taking an action, your turn ends. Next up is the enemy. Turns always alternate, even if you are outnumbered. Despite being at full strength, the chieftain will do little damage against your shield banger's high armor. Now it's your warhawk's turn. He appears to be out of range of these enemies, but all characters can use willpower to boost their actions. Willpower is a limited resource, so use it wisely. By clicking on gold tiles, a character can move further than usual at the cost of 1 willpower per gold tile. Red, pulsing beneath your enemy, show how close you'll have to get to be in range. Move your warhawk into attack range now. Standard attacks only affect a single enemy, but your warhawk has a special ability that gives him a unique advantage. Click your warhawk's tile to access his ability. Clicking your character's tile will bring up all of his combat options, including move, ability, attack, and end turn. Click the purple ability icon now. The ability description appears in the tooltips below. The warhawk's Tempest allows him to slay multiple enemies at once. Select an enemy and then confirm your choice. That made quick work of the chieftain's bodyguards. When there is only 1 enemy left, players enter pillage mode. During pillage, each character moves in order and there are no more guaranteed turns. Check the initiative to see how the order has changed. Your allies now get to move twice in a row. If a character does not move on his turn, he can rest to regain 1 willpower. The chieftain will rest this turn. Looks like the chieftain is in some trouble. Your shield banger won't be able to finish the job with a normal attack, but willpower can be used to boost your damage. Click the chieftain's tile to attack. Click the fist and then the stars above the fist to add willpower. The number of stars available each turn is determined by your exertion stat. You'll see the damage number go up as you add willpower. Click a star and then the green check mark to kill this enemy. Oh, that went by too quickly.
5 now.
Like a rabid wolf, that one. How did it come to this? We fool ourselves believing that peace will last. My grandfather built all this from a poor fishing village, you know. He watched the gods die, watched the chaos that followed, watched man and var slaughter each other, even before the dreads arose. All we've done is traded one struggle for another. Now that there are no more dreads to war against, we war against ourselves. This chieftain meant to kill me, and he's not the first. A dozen families in the city would gladly take my chair. This one had men waylaying merchants, both north and south of the city, strangling trade, quite well, I would add, though he denied it to his lust. This sort of wolf doesn't stop biting because the head is cut off. It just grows a new head. I am in a bad way, my friend. Help me finish this fight and I'll gladly send you on your way with double our king's tithe. Take any men you meet. They're loyal, I promise you that. They will meet you down in the proving grounds.
Chapter 1. Only the sun has stopped. You're approached by a familiar man who walks in step with you as you're leaving the Great Hall. He cuts to the chase. Eric, steward of Strand. I manage the governor's business. Ubin, isn't it? It is. The governor tells me you'll be giving us a hand. What did you have in mind? Scalfings that you didn't hack up in the Great Hall scattered after you took out their chieftain. The governor just wants to make sure they stay down. Was hoping you'd join me at the marketplace by the docks. If there's anyone left to worry about, I know who can tell us.
Oh, I forgot I wrote that.
Let me handle this. You meander through the rows of open-face houses and eroded stalls. Colored canvases flap on a briny current. One man in particular blanches as you approach. Had, I'm not in the mood today. For what? Talking to an idiot. The Scalfing's chieftain bled out about an hour ago, Had. So when you tell me what rat anus the rest of them crawled back into, nobody's going to try to kill you this time. They don't talk to me. Say nothing. Eric overturns his flimsy table, scattering Had's assortment of junk across the ground.
Flip.
Gods! Eric, laying it on a bit heavy, don't you think? Where are the Scalfings? Nobleman, up by East Wall, but that was months ago, last I know. Had skulks away and with a wave of Eric's hand, gathering things from his hovel, disappearing for a while until this blows over, you figure. Your bodyguard steps forward. Are we done here? Gundulf, you were wearing green back at the Great Hall? Were you wearing green back at the Great Hall? No, just bought them while you were walking around. Why? They look good. I'm glad you care. Gundulf goes off to look at more stalls.
Shopping spree.
Eric, that man of yours seemed unreliable at best. A blind dog wouldn't trust Had, but he used to be Scalfing. If they're licking their wounds, they've probably gone to old haunts, not new ones. Nobleman is a mead hall? Best I can tell, the name's ironic. Listen, I know a guy who would love to put a few of these skulls in the ground. I'm going to find him. I'll meet you there. Shouldn't we have an approach of some sort? What a luxury. Come on, you've already mopped up worse today. Just make sure the governor remembers his promise. Double the usual tithe. I'll remind him. Mead House. You arrive in front of what must be Nobleman. A few minutes later, Eric appears with a weather-beaten man introduced as Valgard. I'll point them out, Eric says over his shoulder. Ready? You're walking through the front door? They ran to a mead house, says Valgard. I'll be surprised if they can stand up straight right now. Okay, here we go. Valgard boots the front door open so hard it won't close again without repair. As you enter the hall, Eric is already at the head of a table, his axe drawn. Wide-eyed, drunken Scalfings scramble to find their own weapons, turning tables and mead steins in the process.
Easy fight versus losers.
Can you see it all? You should just put this over here.
Mostly no. That's not a bad idea. That's this giant cat.
Like, hey.
Sure.
This is that thing.
I can help. Kind of. Maybe. Stuck on the thing.
Okay, I gotta do something here.
Wait, I think I got it. Here we go. Maybe. Not really.
Almost. Yep. There we go. Think so doesn't. Oh. Plop.
Look at this. Fun fact.
Oh, this movement's heart shaped.
It is.
That's because somebody's in his way, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Hello there, Ank.
Oh, I can't attack there. Okay.
This is also my notice. Eyelash will be mistake. That's how I'm gonna resign from my next job. Awesome picture of me.
You seem to have a massive advantage against these guys.
Oh, it gets harder.
So if you find stuff like fighting organized armed forces or monsters or other giants. Organized armed forces of giants. Joyously scooting his butt around.
Yeah. Back legs don't work. That's a really good idea. It's a laundry basket with pool noodles running around, so
Doggo.
speak case it rolls over, he's not going to tip over. I watch a lot of videos on meat because I don't bother reading them. It's weird.
That was a clean special?
I guess so. Like, let me tell you something heartwarming and might make you tear up or something. I don't think I followed any of this conversation.
Well, and Kate inquired what up was.
Oh,
So I typed that thing nicely.
Oh, shoot. Well, I just lost a dude.
that sucks. I don't remember. I think in this game they don't die forever. But I'm not sure.
Idea. We should fight more carefully.
I should.
Oh, it's still lit. I remember a little guy like that at 10 Killer once.
I've been seeing lots of Toads lately. I love Toad season.
Let's see domes.
Drink.
Don't condone. No guns. No kebabs.
There they are. Gods be damned, I've got to go wash off this blood. Eric is looking out the hull's windows onto the bay. A fleet of longships approach with sails of bold reds and blues. One banner I know well, Vognir. Next for Varl Kingship last we spoke. The other flag? Looks important. Yeah, important guests. See what I deal with all day long? Things make a little more sense. You hoped I'd have a stake in saying everything's fine here when the royal guests arrived. Not me, the governor. Now I have to make sure there are no rotting bodies or pools of entrails still in the Great Hall before they come by. Can I ask one more favor? What is it? If you happened to stall our guests down on the docks, I wouldn't object. Maybe I will. Eric and Valgard hustle from the mead house. To his credit, Eric tosses the barkeep a spar of silver for the mess. You give an apologetic shrug and go to greet the new arrivals down at the docks.
These giants seem hilarious.
They're pretty funny.
Vognir?
I like the horns.
A familiar Varl steps onto the docks. In your mind, you recall a much younger version tramping the halls of Grofheim, abundant in purpose. God, Zubin, you're looking ancient. Comes with being old. And if there is Vognir, there must be Hakon. Must there? Still bleeding tributes from the poor and stupid old yaks? At what age do you lose a sense of shame? Jorundr demands it. I'll take that over lingering to death in Grofheim. Speaking of, I had no sense that you were so far from home. Just returned from Arborang, in fact. And glad for it. Hakon motions to the other ships in the bay, sails still fluttering, golden wolf head emblazoned on red, the king of men, or someone on his behalf. The king's whelp. The king's son, Ludin. Don't you know, Scrivener? We visit his capital, he visits ours. It's how you make alliances these days. It's a miserable waste of time. Yes, Hakon has it. I'd almost forgotten. It's a good thing you're around, Hakon. Then you're going to Grofheim? I have the distinct feeling I finished my business in Strand and was heading there myself. We should caravan. We should. Give it a day. In better circumstances, I'd drink a week anyway. I'd drink a week away, but let's just be done. Find me tomorrow at the gates. What he's trying to say is the prince is a delight to behold. Where is Moger? Hakon, have him find a place to put up the warriors. I'm heading up to meet the governor. A host of giants depart in his wake. You recognize a few. Others are strangers to you. Guess I'm off to find Moger. See you in the morning, Scrivener. I'll be along. The young prince of men ambles from his ship. He brushes off his tunic, scanning the beach with low eyelids. Ludin looks for all the world like the sort of boy who grew up pulling the legs from spiders. The long road back to Grofheim should be more interesting than most years, you think.
Poor spiders.
Weariness suddenly settles in, and you chuckle to yourself about what an odd day it has been. One of the governor's men at the Great Hall could find you a place to sleep. On the other hand, if you're going to join Vognir's caravan tomorrow, it might not hurt to share a drink with Hakon, or introduce yourself to the prince they spoke so highly of. Scrivener. You find Hakon in a mead house, surrounded by other Varl. Strand is no stranger to Varl, but rarely sees this many. Hakon waves you over. Went straight for a flagon? Vognir's the one who agreed to pass up a drink. I wasn't invited to the governor's hall anyway. You already missed the massacre. Every year I make the rounds collecting taxes. Every year it's the human settlements that give me trouble. No surprise. What this time? When I got here, the Great Hall was already full of bodies. We added a few more. Ha! Humans. I guess if I only lived as long as a Yoxfart, I might be desperate to make something of myself, too. It's not too late to start trying, Hakon. Hakon let slip a low chuckle. Any Varl could recount his deeds, known as he is for cutting a swath through Dredge at Vognir's side in the Second War, and regularly since then. Down here, I'm a glorified bodyguard. You might have a point. Just another reason to get back to Grofheim. Soon enough, I imagine. You drink until the mead house becomes overbearing, then step back into the cool air outside.
Wait, so the old dude with the feather pen is a tax collector?
Mm-hmm. Why is that funny?
He's laughing at a picture on my screen.
Oh, okay.
It's really adorable. You want to see it?
Sure. Oh, yeah, I've seen that. Although it wasn't captioned that. It was like, it said something like, yes, relax, I cook for you.
Aw.
That's a young turtle, too.
That's baby, yeah.
Is this the right place? You find the prince at an inn. Guards blanket the building, including a sharp-eyed Varl who must be working for Ludin. A woman in red eventually waves you over and stands nearby, arms crossed. Greetings, Prince Ludin. Yes, you're with Vognir? I don't remember you. Not exactly. I've known Vognir a long time. I'll be joining you back to Grofheim with my guards. Ludin looks up for the first time. The woman doesn't react. Why? I work for the king, carrying tithes to the capital. We crossed by chance. Oh, a tax collector. Fine company. What do you want? I have a habit of recording history. I thought we might talk about your visit. A Varl historian? Uh-huh. Don't you already know? Your king and mine both have been practically trumpeting it throughout the cities. I've been on the road a while, I'm afraid. Ludin takes a deep sigh. Whether tired or ungracious, you aren't certain. Maybe both. A formality, mostly. Vognir came to our capital in Arborang, and now we go to the Varl's capital in Grofheim to cement this grand alliance for the next age of Min and Varl. You sound unconvinced. There's no need for it, and it's damned cold up here. You get the sense he's struggling not to complain outright. You take the opportunity to excuse yourself. At dawn, you're awoken by a delivery of goods. At least you think it's dawn. Damn hard to tell with a sun that never moves. The governor's crest adorns the supply leathers. All there, just as promised, to your mild surprise. You wonder if Eric had anything to do with that. Your guards take the treasure wagon down to the gates. Vognir is already here. A while later, Ludin and his men appear, groggy and disheveled. Moger steps forward, Vognir's quartermaster, if you recall correctly, in charge of his unwieldy entourage of warriors. You know him only in passing. He asks if you're ready to depart. We're ready. You follow Moger and join the others. Usually the smaller doors set into the gates would be enough to enter or leave the city, but the town guards have been told to push them open entirely. They mutter things under their breath that are best not heard. Perhaps the governor expected you to draw a crowd, but there's nothing of the sort, just frustrated, tired people. It summarizes Strand well as a whole, you think.
I take it that huge goat-looking thing with gargantuan horns is a Yox.
Probably. I didn't notice it.
It was in like one of the opening bits. It was with the company of Earl. Hey, it's a titular banner. Look at it go.
Mm-hmm. The caravan stops for the day. A gift, says Moger, cracking open mead casks, for my gracious friend, the governor of Strand. Hours pass with raucous laughter as the mead is passed throughout the camp. Toast to Vognir. You raise your drink, toasting the alliance between Man and Varl. The others join in. Ludin's expression is like a stone wall, but the others laugh at your exaggerations. Eventually you sit down beside Vognir. Chat with Vognir. Thanks for the speech, slurs Vognir. Looks like you didn't have to miss out after all. Thanks to Moger. I thought the damned governor would never shut up. Did he give you the history of his entire family? He tried. Then he asked me to clean up his mess. For your benefit, turns out. I'd have given the job to you, too. Gods, there's no joy in politics. Speaking of, what happens after this business with Ludin? Hopefully the boy goes back to Arborang on his own, and I can take out some frustration on Dredge or something. Starting to sound like Hakon. You don't like the life of a diplomat? Haha, don't you miss the fight, Hubin? You down your meat instead of replying. Vognir slouches and shakes his head. There's no joy in killing Dredge, but this, pretty sure this nonsense is some scheme between the two kings to force some kind of lineage. Used to be, warriors would follow you for what you'd done. Isn't that why they follow you now? Is it? Or is it because I'm the next in line? These lines are getting muddy, old Varl. They've always been muddy, Vognir. Vognir stares into the campfire, lost in thought. You leave him to it. You rise groggily, the campsite a casualty of merriment. Moger is already kicking warriors awake when you spot Ludin stalking your direction. He sidesteps sleeping bodies. Better wake up, you nudge Vognir. You're needed.
I feel like this could totally do if like a couple more people and everyone voice acting these guys.
Right?
Because it sounds far more interesting in my head.
Ah, Ludin, always a pleasure. You look well rested. Vognir releases a caged yawn and receives a hard-eyed stare in return.
A caged John.
How long to Grofheim? Ha! We're only 2 days out of Strand, you know. Come, I'll show you on a map. Drag the map to look around. A portrait icon shows where your caravan is in the world. You can also tap on any location to get some history about it. When you're done with the map, tap the X at the bottom of the screen.
Rivers, mountains, actually English letters that look like runes.
Mm-hmm.
Runic farms.
Okay, so where is it we're headed?
Bathroom of the North.
Dunder's Beard, an enormous land of ice separated from the rest of the world by a frozen strait. Dunder's Beard is the sort of place you name after the gods and leave to them as well. The few who have explored the blasted wasteland have either found nothing or never been found again.
There's a god named Dunder?
Apparently.
How unfortunate.
There's Grofheim. The last home of the Varl and seat of their power, founded by Arnfinir, the second Varl king. Though the Varl have moved around a lot, most consider Grofheim their capital. The deeds of Varl are honored here, and all warriors of worth are buried at the foot of the two spears, where they are said to become part of the Varl's march itself.
What's the Varl's March?
I don't know. The Varl's March. The Varl's March, Cradle of Grofheim, is named such for the belief that each Varl of worth buried in King's Barrow becomes the bones of the mountains, eventually forming a new peak along the range. The size of each peak, it was said, would vary depending on the worth of the Varl.
That was Mount.
We head north, then east past the forts. Grofheim's far from Strand. Going to be a long march. You should have drank last night, Luden. Why not take the ships to Skrimmerstead? What's the point of marching? The Silverstone Bay is called that for a reason. It stays covered in ice all year. It would tear up the longships. Too bad, though. We could have shown you all the wonders of Skrimmerstead. A half-sunken city crawling with dredge, Prince. Dredge and glaciers. You like glaciers? Luden exhales through the nose, a poor disguise for his contempt. He turns and bats aside the tent flaps as he goes, barking at his company in the distance. Don't poke the anthill, Vognir. He seems no happier to be here than you. Spend a few more days with the boy, old friend. You'll be looking for a tall cliff to hop off, too. Luden's got a shorter wick than Hakon. Thanks, Vognir. Let's get moving. Another half-day to Vedderfell, if we're lucky.
Sugarfrost accidentally said a semicolon. But the robot then said, that's to burn copies of levels of tea. That apostrophe semicolon.
Camp is where you manage your caravan. During travel, you can enter camp at any time by tapping the camp button on the travel HUD. While at camp or in towns, you can upgrade your allies or equip items in the hero's tent. You can pass time by using the rest tent. Resting will improve the caravan's morale. A high morale will reduce casualties in war and affect your willpower in combat. Each passing day will use supplies, so only rest when necessary. The training tent will allow you to safely try out any characters in a mock battle. Tap leave at the bottom of the campsite when you're ready to get back to the road. One or more of your units is injured. Injured units can still fight, but have a penalty to max strength equal to the number of days wounded. They heal as time passes. So I need to be more careful with him.
What is that?
Because Tempest hits friendly units as well.
Yeah, go ahead and be careful with that.
Promote. The greatest warriors on the battlefield are those who live past their first battles to start a journey down the path to legend. Build higher stats, increase your item rank. Continue. Promote for 5 renown, confirm.
Hey, fuzzy buddy. Your kitty.
Heavy impact. The warrior hits so hard that any enemy standing adjacent to his target on a strength attack take 1 strength damage from the shockwave. Hitting a large target like a Varl or Dredge who takes up 4 tiles can potentially cause an impact across many more victims than hitting a single square target such as a human.
I like how the width of the colored banner is proportional to the number.
Hmm.
Sugar Frosted says, Clumsy Robot is a great day at work. Going on to explain, your mom has a great day at work is an insult his phone's predictive text came up with. Has no idea what it means. Your mom's a great day at work. That does sound vaguely inappropriate.
Yeah, it does.
Kind of like binging someone's mom. Instead of Googling her. Yeah, I binged your mom last night.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like a euphemism.
That's a fantastic idea.
To make things worse, I found out today that apparently the code name for being, or possibly not even the code name, but like the name they were possibly going to go with before it was finalized, they were going to call it Bang.
That seems ill-advised.
Yeah, my little sister's tired because she was up all night banging group members of this group she's into.
Nope.
Nope. Apparently the B-17
Even the name means bad weather.
came in and was like, guys, no.
Sweeps in from the bay. They tend livestock, but most are just man-driven from Strand with nowhere else to go. Why else would anyone stay? We won't stop long.
Stop. Does that banner get longer as you go?
By Hadderborg, that's a lot of Varl for some missing cattle. What? Couple days back, sent word to Strand about the cattle. Didn't expect an army. He looks pleased with himself until it sinks in that you aren't here on his behalf. Where have your cattle gone? Wouldn't know. My boy's seen men up in the hills carrying them away. Don't know many men who can hoist a whole cow by himself. Skullfings out here, maybe? Could they have Varl working for them? Not from what the governor told me. I'm going to take a look around and get camp set up. The peasant spits, his eyes anxiously darting about as the caravan sets up tents. We'll be here no more than a day. There's silver for any food you've got. For hundreds of Varl? Are you serious? Whatever you're willing to sell. You thinking of squatting? Not enough room for a couple hunters. Here, forget hundreds of... Shut up. Hear that? Where's Luton? It's faint. Sounds like fighting and something else. Hakon takes off at a run.
Sorry, I keep coughing.
It's okay.
Did you inhale something?
I think so.
Something other than air.
Yeah. Aw. There, that's what. He's a happy bear, look.
until he used a ladder to get in.
But he is to get in, but not to get out. That's black or brown hair. Could be serfs.
Looks like them Varl got themselves into a fight with some cow rustlers. That was a sound. Someone killed a cow?
What?
Someone killed one of the cow?
No. I killed a dude. And this guy's weapon is vibrating, which is weird. Yay, Mogre ranked up.
Ding, 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 ding.
6 rounds.
You trying to get yourself killed, Luden? What are you doing? I was trying to get a shot in between the plates. You never seen a dredge before, boy? What kind of idiot? Break their armor first. Where did they come from? We didn't even see them. They were just there. Hakon goes to where Vognir lies face down. The future Varl King lies motionless, aside from a spreading pool of blood. Vognir's dead.
Oops.
Chapter 2.
Was that scripted like that, or?
Apparently.
He didn't go down while you were fighting, did he?
Nope.
Oh. That's weird. That sounds good.
Yep. Where did that thing come from? Shh, stay close. I think it saw us.
That's a dredge.
Yeah.
How do I save?
I don't think you do. I think it just remembers your last checkpoint.
Okay. Well, it's the beginning of a new chapter, and it's 11, so that's probably a good time to call it a night, I think. So, thanks for watching, everybody. I'll be back tomorrow, not Saturday, but tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern for an entire Radio PSI Friday night Throne of Games, because Saturday is going to be the E3 roundtable, or the post E3 roundtable roundup thing. So yeah, hope to see you back here tomorrow night, and you should check out the E3 discussion on Saturday as well. Tomorrow I will probably be playing Final Fantasy II, continuing that from wherever it was I left off at that. So, yeah, good times. And I'll be back next Thursday with more Banner Saga.
Yay.
So, hope to see you next time. Good night, everybody.
Good night. I'm the king's coming.
Yeah, you are.